YouTubers, viewers, subscribers, and everybody of the remaining social networks. This is Bitchute King, and today we are going to do a new live reaction. Today, Ryu versus Gin in Street Fighter versus Tekken. An interesting one, not gonna lie. I don't know anything about Tekken, literally. So, well, I'll give you my opinion during the commercial. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Also, usual disclaimer usual disclaimer applies. Christian purposes, no interest in corporate shenanigans, blah blah blah. Let's do this. And play.
Everyone has different reasons for studying martial arts. For personal honor, to improve health,
and for kicking the crap out of the other people, like with Ryu, the wandering world warrior of Street Fighter.
And Jin Kazuma, the power-hungry martial arts master of Tekken.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
3D1. An interesting choice, and I approve.
He's the hero the world never knew. His name means prosperous, plentiful, and abundant. He is the wandering warrior. He is Ryu.
That's a pretty epic introduction for a hobo.
Orphaned at a young age, Ryu was adopted by the martial arts master Goken. Under Goken's training and beside his fellow student Ken Masters, Ryu was trained in the art of Ansatsuken,
aka the Assassination Fist. This ancient fighting style was specifically designed for murder, which automatically makes it the best martial art ever.
Well, Goken actually taught Ryu a slightly altered variant of the Ansatsuken. Inspired by karate, kenpo, and judo, Goken's version was a generally non-lethal one.
Oh, lame.
But the deadly side of the martial art lived on in Goken's brother, Akuma, who would ultimately prove to be Goken's downfall. One day, Ryu and Ken returned to their dojo to find their master dead.
Kind of. He got better later. But Ryu didn't know that, so he swore to wander the earth perfecting his abilities until he could take down Akuma himself.
With the Ansatsuken style, Ryu is a master at close quarter combat. With such techniques as the Shoryuken uppercut and the flying hurricane kick, he can take down most foes in mere seconds.
He's like a living helicopter of pain, but he can also use his ki as a weapon, firing a fireball of energy from his palms. Say it with me, Hadouken!
Goken's version of the Ansatsuken also taught Ryu several defensive techniques, including the skill to parry most other attacks with precise timing.
And with all these awesome powers of whooping ass, Ryu eventually made his way to the World Warrior Tournament.
With his skills, Ryu quickly reached the top of the competition. For the title of World Warrior, he faced his toughest opponent yet, Sagat,
who ended up beating the shit out of him. But Sagat was surprisingly a pretty good sport, so when he thought the fight was over, he offered Ryu a hand up.
And in that moment, something dark swelled from within Ryu's consciousness. A force so fierce and destructive, he couldn't contain it. And he lashed out. With an enraged shout and an explosion of blood, Ryu emerged as champion over Sagat's near-dead body. Ryu's dark side had been unleashed. This was the Satsui no Hado.
A violent inner force so extreme, its name actually means surge of murderous intent. If I ever knowingly father a child, I know what I'm naming him.
Under the influence of the Satsui no Hado, Ryu falls into an uncontrollable rage known as Evil Ryu, where his physical and spiritual power skyrockets.
He can even teleport and use Akuma's favorite technique, the Shungoku Satsu, which literally translates to instant hell murder. Okay, shit, now I gotta have two kids that I care about.
The Shungoku Satsu, or the Raging Demon, is a fatal move which attacks the very soul of its victims with the gravity of all their past sins.
To make them die 1,000 deaths.
But while the Satsui no Hado is a manifestation of Ryu's dark side, he has achieved balance with the light. This is called Mu no Ken, or the power of nothingness.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. What's he gonna do with nothing?
By focusing on mental and spiritual refinement and detachment, Ryu has achieved the ultimate state of being. This begets a power strong enough to match and even surpass the Satsui no Hado.
Oh yeah, that's how Goken survived Akuma's hell murder attack. And now Ryu's got the same power. Look at him go.
With all this power, Ryu's performed some incredible feats. Aside from winning the World Warrior tournament, he's dodged bullets, destroyed skyscrapers, and survived Balrog's Gigaton blow.
Yeah, remember him from that boxing match we did? He's strong enough to kill an elephant in one punch. Ryu is so tough that he's survived getting impaled. And when he goes evil mode, he can just walk through gunfire.
He's strong enough to lift this enormous boulder over his head. By estimating the boulder's volume compared to Ryu's height and assuming a sandstone composition, we can determine it must weigh at least 36 tons.
Plus, there's a guy sitting on top of the boulder, and he's lifting his own boulder. Man, Oro's cool.
While Ryu's fighting record isn't perfect, his wins far outnumber his losses. He's defeated his friend Ken, the dictator M. Bison, and even a genetically engineered super warrior named Seth.
But those were just pit stops compared to his frequent battles with Akuma. And if you don't know, Akuma shattered an island with a single punch, split Ayers Rock in half in Australia, and jumped to the ocean's surface from 4,000 feet below in 3 seconds while destroying a submarine.
That's about 3,000 miles per hour, by the way, and I guess he just powered through the bends.
Yeah, he's definitely final boss material.
And so,
whenever
years
are
after
they going
Akuma's
to show
attack
him
on
again?
his foster father, Ryu faced him for the final time. And with the power of Mu no Ken on his side, Ryu was victorious.
All in a day's work for everyone's favorite Street Fighter.
You had the power to actually defeat that beast. Now show it to me.
This power is not your defeat. This is the power to push forward.
Yep, still cringy.
If you met Jin Kazuma when he was just a boy, you wouldn't figure he'd grow up to be one of the most dangerous men to ever live.
Unless you already knew about his super deadly and super crazy family.
Jin was raised by his single mother, who taught him the Kazuma family-style martial arts after his father abandoned them.
Story of my life. No, really, those training days with Mama Boomstick were some of the best times of my life.
One day, Jin's mother sensed a great evil approaching. She told him that if anything were to happen to her, he should seek out his grandfather, Heihachi Mishima.
Right on cue, a big-ass ogre showed up and attacked him. When Jin came to, his mom and Shrek were nowhere to be seen. Don't you hate it how moms are always right?
Thankfully, it wasn't too difficult for Jin to find Heihachi.
Yeah, he's super rich and has a really tall building. Kinda
obvious.
So rich, in fact, that Heihachi owned a multinational conglomerate empire with its own banking, weaponry, military forces, and, just for kicks, a martial arts tournament.
Of course.
Whoa! Why didn't Mom tell him about this? Time to collect on those missing Christmas presents, Granddad.
Well, she also forgot to mention that Heihachi is a terrible father who's obsessed with throwing his own son off cliffs. Nobody's perfect, I guess.
Regardless, under Heihachi's guidance, Jin trained and perfected the Mishima Ryu fighting style. With 2 types of martial arts mastered, he's got all sorts of techniques that can pack a punch.
Such as the flash punch combo and the electrically charged lightning screw uppercut.
Or his famous 10-hit combo chain. Once he gets you stuck in his flurry of punches and kicks, you're not going anywhere until he finishes you off with a classic dragon uppercut.
With these talents and a thirst for revenge, Jin entered his grandfather's King of Iron Fist tournament. There, he came face to face with the ogre once again. But instead of, interrogating him to find out what happened to his mother, Jin just killed him. Nice job, stupid. That was the only lead you had.
Yeah, nothing tastes better than sweet revenge. Except for maybe Mom's cooking. Well, unfortunately, it didn't last long, because he got shot up by his grandfather. Oh, that son of a bitch. Mama always said never trust a bald man who tells his barber, give me the Wolverine.
But Jin had a little surprise for Heihachi, and for himself, actually. Thanks to his family line, he has inherited the dreaded and parasitic Devil Gene.
Which turns him into a flying, laser-shooting demon person. Now that's one genetic disorder you can sign me up for.
Good news then. I've been working on an artificial digestible version of the Devil Gene myself.
Oh yeah? Would that happen to be the chewy fruit candy in the blue bucket?
What did you do?
Well, my dog Jack Spaniels was wandering around scrounging for food as he does, and I was wondering why he suddenly grew horns and wings.
You've got to be shitting me.
Anyway, compared to his base form, Devil Jin's strength, speed, and durability are better than ever.
Devil Jin is strong enough to throw people dozens of feet and even smash them through walls. For this instance in particular, he's pushing Heihachi through the limestone wall of an Aztec pyramid. To do this,
Damn.
Jin must have struck the wall with force equal to at least 10 tons per square inch.
Hell, Jin is stronger than this guy called Raven, who can toss around this giant war robot named Nancy!
When compared to real-life robots of similar size and accounting for additional weaponry and gear, this machine should weigh anywhere between 15 to 30 tons. Also, Jin is fast enough to dodge bullets and fly into orbit,
And survive falling all the way back down!
which puts his maximum flight speed over escape velocity. That's more than
Damn.
25,000 miles per hour.
He can even punch so fast he causes shock waves. That's right, Jin throws punches faster than the speed of sound. Remind me never to give him a high five.
Totally reasonable, considering his grandfather can catch bullets in his teeth from just 20 feet away.
And surely Jin can do better than that. Heihachi doesn't even have the devil gene.
That's right, the devil gene traces back not to Heihachi, but to Jin's grandmother.
Who freaking rides tigers?
As a result, Heihachi's son Kazuya inherited the devil gene and passed it on to Jin.
Kazuya's powers are basically the
Damn.
same as Jin's, and he's shown just how far the devil form can go. He's shot a blast powerful enough to erupt a volcano and survived a satellite laser straight out of Independence Day.
This is the same laser that once shot the robotic soldier Gunjack. By measuring the blast radius and resulting devastation, the laser's firepower appears to equal 3.7 megatons of TNT.
You know the bomb that got dropped on Nagasaki in World War the sequel? Yeah, this laser's like 176 of those hitting all at once.
While the devil gene can sometimes be difficult for Jin to control, it provides an enormous advantage against almost any foe.
With it, he's won 3 of the 4 King of Iron Fist tournaments he's entered. He's defeated Heihachi, Kazuya, and even the supposed OG Devil Man himself, Azazel. Too bad he had to start World War II sequel just to find him. Kind of a dick move.
Jin's certainly no angel, and hardly a hero. Still, when it comes down to it, he is the child of destiny, and not even the devil's blood can seal his fate.
Can't you understand? All this fighting is pointless. It's never gonna end.
The cringe!
Will end with this bloodline. And that is why I fight.
All right, the combatants are
Okay,
set.
where's
Let's end
that?
this debate once and for all.
But first, all this talk of gin is making me want to pour a glass and eat some delicious Blue Apron.
I mean, seriously, the devil gene, it's basically a fight between their final form, and for what we saw, Ryu can't touch Jin when he goes El Diablo, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I think Tekken trumps Street Fighters this time around. That's the impression it's giving me. Ryu isn't going to come out of this one alive. Period. It's gonna be entertaining, but Jin's gonna win. Anyway, that's my opinion. Now, watch some food. And it's about half an hour from dinner time where I'm standing, so this is making me hungry. Anyway, look, it's a kitty. Let's join me. Isn't she cute? Anyway, kitness over. And so is the ad. Time to see if I'm right or not.
There's no way I can lose. Talk is cheap. The answer lies in the heart of battle.
Nice music. And here comes the devil, man.
I shall show you fear. Out of my way! You insect!
Hey, is that... Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's the set! Haven from Ruby, you don't say! That's the maintenance vault from the season finale of Ruby. Volume... the latest volume, basically. Interesting. I was wrong. Would you look at that?
I walk the path of the true warrior.
KO! Oh,
Seriously?
I get why it's called the power of nothingness now. There's nothing left in his chest.
This one was a tricky match to decipher. Both Ryu and Jin had many displays of incredible feats, but very few truly showcased the upper limits of their power. We know that in their base forms, both could lift around 30 tons and move at supersonic speeds. Also,
Yeah,
we know
fair
Ryu
enough.
could maintain a much better level of control and discipline in Muno Ken than Jin in Devil form.
Yeah, hardcore Tekken
Okay.
fans know he had pretty good control over it in that Blood Vengeance movie, but it's pretty inconsistent with game canon. Even Tekken's creator has said it's not canon.
Also, Jin's fall from orbit feat was impressive, but it is hard to quantify due to its presentation. Even if we assume we are to take it literally, a man of Jin's size landing at terminal velocity would equal around 18 tons of force.
But to find their limits, we had to scale them to comparable characters.
Scaling Jin to his father Kazuya was logical. Kazuya survived that 3.7 megaton laser blast, and it's clear it was necessary for him to be in devil form to do so. Kazuya's
Obviously.
own laser blast was strong enough to help kick off a volcano's eruption, a feat which could require up to 100 megatons of TNT. But that's a very generous estimate, and its actual potency is likely much less.
Since their power comes from the same place, and Jin's even defeated Kazuya before, it's safe to say Jin can do all this too. As for Ryu, we knew exactly who we had to scale him to. Let's talk about Akuma.
First off, just to
Indeed.
prove the scaling is reasonable, Ryu and Akuma share very similar abilities. Both were trained in the Otsutsuken fighting style, and both possessed the Satsui no Hado. They fought each other several times, and when the story was all said and done, Ryu emerged ultimately victorious based on his skill alone.
Now that that's out of the way, let's watch Akuma punch an island to death.
With a single strike, Akuma managed to break apart an entire island so thoroughly that Ryu, who was on the island, was left floating helplessly in nearly clear water. Assuming the island is somewhat circular, we've estimated the volume and deduced that in order to fragment the island like this, Akuma's punch must have been over 400 megatons of TNT.
That's
Yeah,
more than
screw
4
that.
times stronger than anything a Devil
Gotcha.
Gene has pulled off. And Ryu takes blows from this guy all the time.
Sure, Ryu wasn't getting hit with 400 megatons every time Akuma landed a punch, but the most a Devil Gene carrier has ever survived amounts to less than 1% in comparison. Even if Jin could survive a strike
Yeah,
as
they
strong
could
as
have
Kazuya's
told us
volcano
this before,
feat, it
but
still
hey,
pales in
details.
comparison. The fact that Ryu survived being on the island as it was blown apart helps justify this scaling too.
Well, Jin still takes the speed advantage with that flight into orbit, but it doesn't mean much when the difference of power and toughness is this massive.
When it came down to it, Ryu's strength, durability, and control were just too far out of Jin's reach.
Wait,
Okay,
Wiz,
fair
we
enough.
forgot a feat. You remember that gun Jack robot? A later model of Jack once destroyed a meteor. Couldn't we just scale Jin to that?
Well, it's unsupported by canon material, but even if we did, guess who destroyed an even bigger meteor?
Akuma?
Akuma.
Damn. Well, chin up, everybody. Ryu's taking care of business.
The
Really?
winner is Ryu.
Okay, cool. Who's next?
Thanks for watching. If you guys want exclusive commentary on the episode, just click that little box right over there.
And if you want the battle music from this episode, you can get it by clicking the link in the description.
You know this by now.
So next, it's Jack. It's Jack. Oh! Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai. Oh, now we're talking. Anyway, this was a pretty enjoyable episode. And as usual, they kind of left crucial information to after the fighting, so, you know, betting in this kind of stuff isn't really the most accurate thing you can imagine, but hey, what can I say? Hey, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite fun to watch. Still, I think it's cool that they used the battlefield from Raven vs. Cinder from the ending of the latest volume of Ruby. For the fight, and well, like I said, it was pretty fun to see two of the best martial artists in fiction go at each other. Still, they give good reasoning, and the fight was entertaining, so good episode all around. Anyway, people, hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Until next time, forget to like, subscribe, ring that stupid bell. You know the real. Damn you, YouTube. Until then, I'll see you around. Ta-da!